Did you know the content summary of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Let me tell you all about it. This best-selling book by Robert Kiyosaki tells the story of his own upbringing, shaped by two very different father figures. There was his biological father, his poor dad, who was highly educated and held a stable government job but always struggled with money. Then, there was his best friend's father, his rich dad, who was a high school dropout but became one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. The book isn't really a step-by-step guide, but more of a mindset shift. It's built around the lessons Kiyosaki learned from his rich dad, which were often the exact opposite of what his poor dad taught him. He valued academic education and job security above all else. He believed in working for money. Rich Dad, on the other hand, had a completely different philosophy. He'd say, the rich don't work for money. They have money work for them. This is the core idea of the entire book. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki the importance of financial literacy, which he said is something we're never taught in school. So, what is financial literacy? It's understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. This is lesson number 1 from Rich Dad. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. It sounds simple, but it's a game changer. Poor Dad thought his house was his biggest asset. Rich Dad explained that unless it's generating income, a house is a liability because of the mortgage, taxes, and maintenance costs. Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to focus on acquiring assets, things like real estate that you can rent out, stocks, bonds, or a business that doesn't require your presence to run. The goal is to build a strong column of assets that generate enough passive income to cover your expenses. Once your passive income is greater than your expenses, you're financially free. You no longer have to work for a paycheck to survive. Another key lesson is about mindset. Poor Dad often said, "I can't afford it." Rich Dad forbade those words. Instead, he taught Kiyosaki to ask, "How can I afford it?" It opens up possibilities instead of shutting them down. The book also talks about the rat race. This is the cycle of working for a paycheck, getting a raise, increasing your spending, and then needing to work even harder to maintain that new lifestyle. You're like a hamster on a wheel, running faster and faster but never getting anywhere. Kiyosaki also emphasizes that the rich invent money. They see opportunities that others miss. They aren't afraid to take calculated risks and learn from their mistakes. The moral lesson of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is that financial freedom comes from financial education, not from a high salary. It's about changing your mindset from being an employee who works for money to becoming an investor or business owner who makes money work for you. It is a powerful call to take control of your own financial destiny by continuously learning and focusing on building income.